If you aren't making $20,000 a month in your business yet, you need to watch this video. I'm going to share with you the honest, hard truth on why you're not making any money and what you can do to fix that so you can help more people and start to make more money. For a quick context, my name is Dr. Matt and I've been coaching online since 2015. I've built both low and high ticket coaching companies to 7 figures, and our current coaching offer helps health coaches get more clients. And we've found that $20,000 a month is a sweet spot to really have time and financial freedom as an online coach. And if you're doing anything under that, you're pretty much doing everything, right? You're doing marketing, sales, fulfillment, and you really don't know what is working yet or like how you're growing your business. And you're just like time and financially kind of broke, right? And once you get to 20K a month, you can actually start to breathe and actually start to pay yourself good money. And after working with about 500 coaches, there's only 3 reasons why most people get stuck under 20K a month. And I'm going to cover those in this video. So let's go ahead and transition over to my iPad and let's get started. Okay, so reason number 1, the first reason that you're stuck, right? Stuck under 20K is mindset, okay? Now, mindset, there's different components inside of here. And I know everyone harps on this. And to be honest, when I started my online coaching business, and even when I started business coaching, I was like, man, too many people talk about mindset. We need more tactical strategies on lead gen and sales. And if we could just get more people, more leads and sales, who cares what their mindset is? They're just going to close them. But I was so wrong, so wrong, because I started working with coaches and people, and I guess the mindset I had coming into it, I assumed that other people had too. And I guess I'm fortunate, or I guess I've had enough life lessons to develop that mindset. But people who don't have it will not be successful. I can give them the best ad strategy, the best sales strategy, the best strategy there is. But if you're not right here and you don't think like a business owner, you don't think like an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what your strategy is. It doesn't matter. Okay, so here are the 3 mindset pieces that you have to have in check to really make 20K a month online. Okay, 1 is going to be sales. Okay, sales. When we're doing sales, there is a fear of so many people of being, what is it? What is it? You know, salesy, right? We have this fear of being salesy. And really, what this fear of being salesy is this perception of others. Perception of others, right? We don't want to be looked down upon. We don't want people to associate us with money. And this is just this cultural thing that we've developed and grown up with of like, I shouldn't have a lot of money. Right? Or I shouldn't be asking people for money. I shouldn't be talking about money. I don't know where this came from. I imagine it was probably the Great Depression and like the time after that our grandparents learned from their parents, which would be like our great grandparents. And that's continued to pass along. I've noticed now that we're starting to shift away from this, but this really comes down to the perception of others. I'm scared that other people will think that I'm salesy. This mindset will prevent you from pitching more people. Because the more people you can talk to, the more people you tell your offer to, the more money you're going to make, the more people and lives you will change. But you have to talk to more people. And if you're scared of it, you're never going to be successful, right? You're just not going to ask. And if you don't ask, there's not going to be an opportunity for them to say yes. So we have to overcome this fear of being salesy. And most of this comes from more reps, okay? More reps, okay? More reps equals confidence. Because when you first start pitching people, you might come across as extremely salesy. Why? It's because you lack the skill, right? You lack the skill of communication, and you lack the skill of reading someone's body language and understanding if they're interested or not, and pulling them in a way if they're open and they're just like nervous. Help them, give them the confidence they need to move forward with it. If they're not a good fit, great. Analyze that, know that, and say, hey, I actually don't think you're going to be a good fit. And if you can understand this and you can build confidence and you can acquire this skill, you're not ever going to invite people who shouldn't be into your program, and you won't feel salesy, right? That only happens when you push people who aren't the right fits, or you're reading the language the wrong way, right? The body language, the tone of the conversation, etc. Okay, so that's reason number one, or actually that's aspect number one of mindset. Okay, the second one, I actually already hit on this, but it's your relationship with money. Okay, your relationship with money. As an entrepreneur, you have to earn a lot of money. You have to make a lot of money. Okay, because I'm going to tell you this to you right now, right? $20,000 a month. I led this off in this video. $20,000 a month. We're like, holy cow, that's so much money. This is not a lot of money for a business. This is a decent amount of money for someone to make personally. But guess what? When you're a business owner, you have this thing called expenses, right? Whether that is investing in a mentor, like you could work with us, you work with other mentors, but it's really helpful to get started. But guess what? That costs money, right? It costs money to hire a team. It costs money to get mentorship. It costs money to learn how to market, to run. Education is expensive, right? So like you have expenses there. You've got to hire a coach. You've also got a website. You've also got paid ads. You've also maybe have a video editor. You might have assistant coaches, right? So just to kind of work with me here, when you guys are getting started, let's just pretend, and I want you to do this because this is going to happen as you keep growing, it's going to decrease, but you're going to take home about 50% of what you make. All right. So if your goal is to make, $10K a month, you need to make $20K a month, right? You do. And I bet a lot of you guys don't realize and really kind of figure out how much money do I actually want to make? And if you start to kind of reverse engineer it to, okay, well, what type of lifestyle do I want to live? Where do I want to live? How much money do I need to make? A lot of you guys might even realize that 10K a month might not be enough. It might not be enough. It might not. You might actually need 20K a month. Okay. And if you need 20K a month to live the lifestyle you want, guess what? You've got to make closer to 40K a month. And once you start to actually do these numbers, like this is how I form a relationship with money, is I'm a spreadsheet guy. But once I start to do these numbers, I actually did this. And I did this around this time here where I was making about 10K, 15K a month myself, right? And that's right, in the business. And then I noticed that here I was only paying myself like $5,000. I was like, how am I supposed to build wealth off like $5,000? Because I'm making 10, 15. And then I realized, well, Matt, you actually need to make, 20K a month so that you can invest in things, you can have the lifestyle you want to live, you can travel more. So I was like, okay, well, that means I need a vehicle, AKA a business that can help me bring in 40K a month. Wow. Well, me doing all the coaching myself, one-on-one, and the way that I was doing it, didn't have a team, none of that. I can't make this. So what this made me do is it made me switch models. Okay. So I had to switch models to be able to allow me to make this amount of money. And I reverse engineered it. But a lot of us have this fear around money. Again, a lot of it's talking about money, but we really need to just kind of work backwards, right? Of like, how much do I need? Let's see, how much do I need? And then what is my, essentially profit margin in the business to make what I need? And if we know that in the online coaching space, ideally these profit margins are 50% plus, right? Then I need to double the amount in the business. And just having that clarity is going to put a fire under your butt to start being like, I got to make more money. Okay. All right. Third aspect of mindset. This one, it aligns really similar to the sales, putting yourself out there, right? Putting yourself out there. And guess what? This is the same thing above up here. It is the fear of perception of others. I'm terrified of putting myself out there because I don't want to feel dumb. I don't want to say something the wrong way or people to think, think less of me. And automatically if they think less of me, I'm a failure. And I want people to think that I'm a success, right? Oh man. I'm not even going to spell success. That's so bad. But that you want to be perceived as a successful, right? And the only way you're going to have this success is so bad. I can't spell success right now, is by having more failure, right? So if I fail more, I will have more success because I will know what works and I will know what doesn't work. And I have to build a bank of failures before I can actually say something works. And this putting yourself out there, fear of judgment, fear of failure, you are in your own way. You are in your own way. And if you can get out of your own way, this is going to be a lot easier for you. So one thing that I've recognized and I've encouraged my clients, even I did it myself, I didn't realize it, was that I did a ton, of personal development. And this really helped me like get into business. So I got out of my own way. I learned about my, my stories and my stuff in the past that has helped me be safe and take me to where I am. But I had to really sit with, why am I the way that I am? And I did a good 6 months of like a very intensive program, right? So I did 6 months of deep work before I started my business. And when I did this, I just, I didn't care. I would turn the camera on and I would push publish and I didn't care. I didn't sit there scrolling and swiping and seeing, did this get likes? I didn't care. I was just like, this is my mission. I feel so passionate and I'm ready to go. So my recommendation for a lot of people, if you're in this stage and you have this fear, is do some personal development. Get a mentor, go through a really intensive program, and you've got to change those stories. Okay? You got to change those stories. And honestly, if you change those stories and you come work with me, like my team, we will help you scale. We'll help you scale so much faster than if you've got this stuff in the way. If this stuff is in the way, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to give you a strategy and say, go implement it, because you're going to be met with this internal resistance. And then when you start filming and you start making content, guess what? Everyone can feel it. Everyone can feel it. And you won't get engagement. You won't get people who want to work with you because you've got some stuff going on that you got to get sorted out. Okay? And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm open and honest about that. If any of my clients ever ask me, hey, why am I not getting success or results? Oftentimes I may point to this. Be like, hey, are you in a good energetic state? Are you attracting people to you? Are you living a lifestyle and have the personality patterns and traits that other people want to have? Because if you don't, you could even try to put yourself out there. But guess what? It's not going to be attractive. It's going to be repulsive. Marketing won't work. Sales won't work because your internal self is feeling sticky. Okay? All right. So, like I said, all this is mindset. This is step one. Okay? So this is one of the reasons that people can't scale to 20K a month. All right? They got a fear of putting themselves out there. They've got a negative relationship with money and don't really know how much money they got to make. And then 3 is their fear of sales. Okay? Overcome this stuff. Work on this stuff. And it's not like a linear path by any means, right? Just like fitness or weight loss, you're going to have ups and downs. But it's a journey, and being committed to the journey and seeing the progress along the way. Just start now. All right? So number 1 is mindset. Number 2 is an offer problem. Okay? Offer problem. And really what this refers to is messaging. Okay? Messaging / I'm going to put niche. Okay? So if you've got the personal development good, your mindset's strong. One of the other reasons that you're having a hard time scaling is that your messaging is off. Okay? Either you don't have a clear niche, right? This is a huge problem, especially with ads. No clear niche. If you don't know who you want to target and who you want to work with, you can't advertise to that person. So you've got to get, specific here. You've got to get specific. It doesn't have to be super specific. If I only work with sales tech professionals who make this amount, who do this. It doesn't have to be that way. For me, I help health coaches. We at one point just helped coaches. That's not super general, but it's pretty general actually, coaches, right? It's still it's a career of people, but then we niche down to health coaches. So it's kind of like a niche inside of a niche, right? But other examples could be CrossFitters. I use that one a lot. Weightlifters. It could be golfers, tennis players, pickleball players. Honestly, it's easier when you have a niche that identifies themselves as a group of people like that, right? Busy professionals sucks. Do not do that. Busy parents sucks. There's too many parents. There's so many. Majority of people are parents. So hey everybody, if you're busy, guess what? Everyone's busy. That sucks. Don't do that. Okay. Just gonna be transparent. I've seen too many people try it and they failed. Some people who have big audiences can make it work, but for most people who don't have big audiences, it doesn't work. Okay. So offer problem. You've got no niche. You don't know who you serve. It's really hard to market. Second is you're not clear. You might have a niche, like a group of people, but you're not clear on the problem. Okay. On the problem you solve. Now, what I mean by this is, do you help with weight loss? Do you help with strength gain? Do you help eliminate pain or reduce pain? Do you help with GI, digestion? Do you help with cholesterol? Like, what do you do? What is the specialty or the problem that you solve? And if you don't have a clear niche and you don't know what problem you solve or you help everybody, ads aren't going to work for you. They're not. You might be able to build an audience over time, but to be able to really scale, I want to be able to turn cold traffic, someone who just saw an ad, and be like, holy cow, he's talking to me. He knows exactly what's going on with me. He reminds me of myself. And I really like, he's also really like energetically attractive. I trust him already, right? So if you don't have that, it's really hard to scale. It's really hard to scale, right? The other problem could be here with the offer and problem is like packaging. I swear I spell better when I'm not being recorded because I'm also thinking, packaging / pricing. And what this is typically is charging too low. Okay. Typically too low. If you're stuck under 20K a month, like too low would be like, if you're doing health coaching, you're charging less than $300 a month. That's pretty low. Like I like to be between $350 and $500 a month as a good sweet spot because I just need like 30 clients there to make 10 grand a month. And if I need 20, I would need 60 clients for 20 grand a month, right? And that would be like if they were paying monthly. If they were doing paid in fulls or 2 pays, 3 pays, I get there a lot faster. But that's the other problem here. But most of the time, if you can create a clear niche, the clear problem, it's so much easier to charge higher prices. Okay. But if you're having a hard time with like lead generation, it's typically an offer problem and a messaging problem. It's not an ad problem. It's not a content problem. I mean, it could be a content problem because you're not clearly calling out your avatar and being clear with the pain or the problem. But more than likely, it's because you're not sure on who am I actually talking to. Get clear on this, things will clear up. Okay. Now, third problem is a volume plus output problem. Okay. Now, this one I see a lot of because I'll see people who have the good offer. They've got their right avatar. Everything's good here. They're pretty good, in a mental state. But I think people underestimate how much stuff you need to do to grow. Okay. Like for instance, I used to think, and I did this when I first started my business, I just posted once a day. I posted once a day and I thought that would be enough. All right. Once a day on Instagram. So that's, 5 posts, 5 posts a week and maybe, like let's say 5 stories. So I also did like 5 days of stories, right? I don't do a ton of stories anymore. And I probably could do more. I have so much volume that goes out. It doesn't matter. So 5 posts a week. And guess what? This would take me like an hour a day or so because I didn't have any systems. Well, now we post 70 plus posts a week, and I have more of a system around this. And this typically is still just an hour a day, but I have systems, right? And now, we're here. I maybe get like 1 to 2, let's just say calls a month, with 70 plus posts. We have a shit ton of calls. Like we'll probably have anywhere from right now, probably 3 to 5 calls a day, right? And the biggest change here is that we 14x'd the amount of outputs. Now, and I say 70 posts, but most of this is just repurposed, right? Most of this is repurposed. I make, I'll kind of demo this out here, but let's just do, I make 5 posts on Instagram, right? On IG, and those same 5 posts. Ideally, I just checked this week, we were having some issues with tech, but those should be auto posts to Facebook, okay? Well, I also do 2 YouTube videos, okay? And then I do 2 emails for those YouTube videos, right? And then I also do 2 Facebook posts for the YouTube video, YouTube vid, and then I make 2 LinkedIn posts. Now these are also just this, they're honestly the same exact email. I copy and paste it, okay? LinkedIn posts, all right? And then what else I also do? I do 4 tweets / threads a day, and that comes out to 20 a week. And then I also do 5 posts. I didn't put this on here, but I'll do 5 similar. Either I'll repurpose these same ones, or I'll just, there's a way inside of YouTube to post old videos again. So I'll do 5 posts on YouTube. So those are like the basis of them, and then also do Instagram stories and etc. So like, all of these things together like have added up. I think they added up to 74. And I might be missing some things, but they were 74 posts a week, and it took me the same amount of time. I did build a system around it, but I needed way more output. Like I just needed way more output. I couldn't just rely on this. Now this is an example of content, but let me also just talk about like outreach. Okay. Cause for a lot of people, if you're under 20K a month, you don't necessarily need this massive content system that I've got, right? But even just like outreach / I'm going to call this outreach / networking. And I actually call it like, I refer to DMs because you're doing DMs, you're doing DM outreach, right? You're talking to new people. I refer to that actually as networking. I feel like it's a more positive associated word than like DM outreach or cold DMs or whatever, right? But if I'm trying to book in calls, like I want to book like 1 call a day, okay? 1 call a day. Typically, the response rate for a cold outreach message, I'm just going to put is it depends on how you're following, but like 20% is kind of what we're shooting for, right? Sometimes it's well below that, but like 20% is what we're looking for a response rate, okay? Response rate. And then that's of the initial message. But if the total message is sent to calls booked, guys, we're looking at like a 1 to 3% for cold, okay? 1 to 3% of people you reach out to will book a call. So if I need a call a day, on the low end, I need to send 100 messages, right? A day. That's a ton of messages. And, I typically have I have most of my clients do 20 a day. Like if they have no money for paid ads, you can start with 20 a day, right? That's a lot. I'll be honest. Like if it can feel like a lot, but people don't realize is that you have to put in the volume. You have to do way more than what you think if you actually want to have the output of signing enough people, and you have to do the numbers backwards, right? So like most people think that this is too much. Well, if I need to send 100 messages to book 1 call, if I send 20 a day, we're going to be, and this is just the only strategy I'm using, right? 20 a day. So 20 times 5 equals 100. So we're looking at, let's say 1 to 3 calls a week, right? And that might be enough, but there's going to be some weeks where this 1 call is not qualified. So like, if you really want to grow faster, we need to 5x the output, right? We need to 5x the output and do 100 a day, okay? Now, same thing for, let's just talk about ads, okay? So you can kind of see the thing here, right? Like, you just got to do more volume. 5 posts is enough. Can you do more? Outreach, 20 messages a day. Great place to get started. You'll book 1 to 3 calls a week. If you want 1 to 3 calls a day, you need to amp that stuff up. Let's shoot for 100 a day, okay? And build a process around this. Like, you may hear this and be like, there's no way I'm doing that. That's okay. You don't have to do it, but you need to make a process for someone else to do it, okay? It's business, right? Business. And again, we got to come back up to this. Let's when we talked about the money, right? Like, how much money do you actually have to make to make your take home, right? Like to live the lifestyle you want to make. And you got to know this number, and you got to build a business that's going to help you hit this number. And I guarantee you, if your goal is to make 40K a month, 20 messages a day is not going to get you there. 5 posts, 1 post a day, it's not going to get you there, right? Now, ads, this is why I love ads and I encourage people to do it. You can increase the volume without doing anything more, right? Outreach, I make more messages, I send more messages. Content, I make more posts, I spend more time, or I pay someone to make it for me. Ads, volume, all I have to do is increase my spend. I don't have to do anything else. I can legit sit behind the computer and say, oh, this one's doing good. Add $10 or add $100. I can just keep doing that. So like I love ads and I teach ads because I find that it is the most really like efficient way to scale, right? Or to scale and really like to I'm going to say to fix the volume problem. Right? Because I mentioned it at some point of like the stories. I don't do a ton of stories anymore, right? Like, of course I could. And my girlfriend's like, you should do more stories. I'm like, sure. But like, I have so much ads going out right now. Like we spend anywhere, not so much, but we spend anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a day in ads. And I know a lot of people who spend much more than that. But if I need more leads, I can just put more money in here. And as long as I'm getting, what our goal is like a 4x return on ad spend on the front end offer. So like if we sell, let's just say that this is a 10K offer, my goal is, can I make $10,000 if I put in $2,500? All right. So can I get a client for $2,500? And for me, I'd rather spend this and 4x my money than do a lot more, like spend more time. So like, again, this is a good system we have where I can do it an hour a day. Outreach. Again, we don't have to do any really cold outreach. We just reach out to people who engage with our stuff, and we can increase that volume by increasing the spend, right? So ads, increase spend, increase volume, fix problem of showing up more times, right? Because ads are guaranteed. I might have spelled this wrong. Guaranteed eyeballs, right? Slash also known as impressions. Okay. And that just means like, if I increase the amount of money that's spent, typically for every $20 that I spend, for every $20, that can get me in front of, this is especially for health, like health coaches and stuff like that, 1,000 people. Okay. So think about that. Would you rather spend, $20 here to get in front of another 1,000 people with your offer and messaging that's dialed in? Or would you rather send 1,000 cold DMs? I'd rather spend $20. Would you? Right? Like I can absolutely do it. And you don't have to wait until you're doing $10,000 a month to start running ads. That's not the case. You do need to make sure we have everything dialed in up here, right? Like we need to make sure that our offer is dialed in and your mindset is dialed in. But if your offer and your mindset's dialed in and you have some money to spend, the sooner you can start spending, the sooner you can start getting in front of new people every day for $20, right? Now, it will come down to how can we make these ads better, the messaging better to get more of these people to click on it. But on average, let's just say 1% click on the ad, CTR, it's called click-through rate. Well, 1% of 1,000 people is going to be, 10 people. So I can get 10 people engaged in the ad for $20. Man, that's great. Doesn't mean they become a lead. That means they're going to click on the ad, they're going to read more, right? But typically for health coaches too, we can do anywhere from like $5 to $10 for a lead. Okay. So if I need more leads, I just spend more money. Okay. More money to talk to more people, right? And as long as I'm not scared of being salesy, put myself out there and I know I can help them, I can invite them to a call. Okay. But you got to be able to spend money. And when we talk about this volume problem, like most people here they'll start at like $10 to $20 a day. And again, this is great. Again, I've encouraged people to start here too. But just like the 20 DMs a day, if it costs you $5 to $10 a lead, typically, I haven't said this yet, but it's going to cost you around $50 to $150 for a call. Okay, this is going to be a sales call where we can tell your offer. Well, if I'm spending just $10 a day, right? $10 a day, and this is my target, that's going to be a call in 5 to 15 days. You can't build a business off of that. That's like one call a week or every other week, right? Now, what if we did $50 a day? All right. Well, if our cost per call is 50 to 100, that's every 1 to 3 days we have a call. All right, better. What if I want to call every day? Well, if I want to call every day, I got to spend what the maximum is for a call, right? So I need to spend $150 a day to get at least, one call a day minimum, right? Now this is on the higher end. This is assuming that your cost per call is $150. If you knew you've been running ads and your cost per call is $50, cool. You might be able to just run with $50 and have one call a day. But if you want to grow something that's going to make you more than 40 grand a month, you're going to need more than a call a day. Okay. You're going to need anywhere from 3 to 4, calls a day. Okay. Because of that, right? We know that, let's just say that the average close rate is 30%. So if I have 3 to 4 calls a day, I should get one client a day. Okay. If I have an offer, follow me here. If I have an offer that's priced at $1,000, okay. Offer is priced at $1,000, which is kind of on the low end, but let's just say that's the case. And I'm getting a client a day. Well, guess what? There are typically 20 work days in a month. So client a day and I've got 20 work days. That's $20,000, right? 20K a month, right? 20K a month on the front end. You might make more on the back end, but there's 20K a month, right? So if I need 3 to 4 calls a day and I really want to make all that money, then I've got to kind of work backwards, right? And I hope you guys, you're kind of seeing this now, right? So if my cost per call is $50 and I'm spending $150 a day, that would lead to 3 calls, which would lead to $20K a month. Well, let's just kind of come back again. If I was spending $150 a day times 30 days, it's $4,500 a month in ads, okay? That might be high. Like, holy cow, I don't have that. Well, yeah, that is high. That's also why your price here should be at least 2K. If you're doing 1K a month, or 1K as a program cost, you're gonna be, it's gonna be hard for you to be profitable. But if we do the same thing, right? If we just did, boom, 2K, and close rate stays exact same, guess what? You're at 40K a month here, and you're spending $4,500 a month in ads. Would you pay $4,500 a month in ads to make 40K a month? I hope so. I hope so, because it's very possible. It's absolutely very possible, okay? So I just want to show that, because you can't scale a business off of $10, $20 a day in ads. You can't scale a business off of sending 20 DMs a day. You can't scale a business if your mindset is off and you don't have a clear avatar, clear problem. If you solve all 3 of these problems, you've got a solid mindset, you've got your offer, your messaging dialed in, and you are playing the volume game, right? And when I say volume game, you're not playing volume. You are putting out enough. You will not have a problem making 20 grand a month. You'll probably make 30, 40 grand a month, right? You probably will, right? But you've got to have all those things checked off in that order. Mindset, yes. Offer, messaging, check, okay? And then third, last but not least, volume. Don't do the other way around. If you do the volume first, your mindset's not in check, you're gonna burn out and be frustrated. Doing the volume game and your offer sucks, you're gonna say the strategy doesn't work. And more than anything, it's not the strategy, it's the offer, okay? So that's all I got for today. I hope this video helps and like puts it into perspective of like what you really need to do to make decent money, to make 20 grand a month, right? And if you guys are looking for help with this, like if you're a health coach, you're watching this video and be like, Matt, I get it now. But you need help with all 3 of those steps: mindset, offer creation, and then learning how to do volume, whether it's outreach or ads. We like ads are better in our opinion. Then that's what we do. So that's part of what we do at our offering, is we help health coaches grow their business. And we do this through those 3 things, right? We do those in those order. How's the mindset? Great. Offer, great. Now let's scale. Okay, so if you are looking for help in that, I'll have a link below to book a call with my team. It's a 45-minute call. On the call, we'll get an idea of what your offer is, what your goals are, what you're currently doing. And if we think we can help, we'll absolutely tell you what it looks like to work with us. So again, if you're looking for help with that, I will have a link below. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.